Maya Kapoor always believed life should unfold like a well-curated Instagram feed, tidy, beautiful, and selectively perfect. Born and raised in Mumbai, a city that pulsed with dreams, noise, and neon ambitions, she grew up among the honking chaos of rickshaws, the aroma of street food wafting through narrow alleys, and the hum of 1,000 dreams colliding. From her early 20s, Maya knew what she didn't want. She didn't want a 9-to-5 job that dulled her spirit. She didn't want a man who couldn't speak fluent English or appreciate sushi. She certainly didn't want to be one of those women who married just because they hit 30. By 26, Maya had a fashion marketing degree, a corner cubicle at a trendy firm in Lower Parel, and an Instagram following of 48,000. Her selfies looked editorial, her brunches were picturesque, and her wardrobe was a rotating carousel of pastel blazers and designer bags. She dated casually, an investment banker, a photographer, a startup founder. Each of them, at some point, felt her list. Rohan was sweet but called her baby. In public, she found it cringeworthy. Aditya had a Tesla but didn't read fiction. Sama was nearly perfect, but he once mispronounced bruschetta and laughed too loudly in fine dining restaurants. No one's perfect, her best friend Richa used to say. Richa, of course, was married at 28 to a teacher and had a toddler by 31. Maya adored the child but pitied Richa's pedestrian life in the suburbs. She'd smile during visits, then walk out into the city streets feeling affirmed in her freedom. But time, like the monsoons, has a way of coming back around. By the time Maya turned 34, the game had shifted. Her job had grown more demanding, and younger, hungrier women were entering the firm with sharper cheekbones and stronger reels. She still looked stunning, Maya always would, but there was a hint of fatigue behind her eyes, a gloss that even expensive concealer couldn't hide. The dating pool shrank. Apps now felt like job interviews. The men she met were either jaded divorcees, commitment-phobic creatives, or men who insisted on simplicity, a word that sent a chill down her spine. Her parents, who once boasted about their independent daughter to relatives, now grew quiet at weddings. Her mother began dropping casual lines like, "It's not about settling down, just companionship," or "He's not perfect, but he's nice." Maya bristled. She didn't need companionship. She needed magic. At 36, she met Aman. He wasn't like the others. A screenwriter with graying temples and kind eyes, Aman didn't try to impress her. He just listened, really listened. Their conversations flowed like aged wine, textured, unhurried. He didn't judge her obsession with aesthetics or her curated life. He admired her ambition, her vocabulary, her sass. For the first time in years, Maya imagined a future that wasn't just hers alone. But then came the question of where. Aman wanted to move to Goa, write scripts, live near the ocean. Maya couldn't imagine leaving Mumbai. She liked pavement, noise, boutique coffee shops with overpriced lattes. Goa was fine for a holiday, not for life. "You're choosing the city over me?" Aman asked gently. "I'm choosing me," she replied. They parted, quietly. No fights, no dramatics. Just an understanding that some people meet too late, or too set in their ways. By 38, Maya had everything she thought she wanted. A plush apartment in Bandra, a job that still paid her well, and a wardrobe that could rival a stylist's dream. She traveled solo, ate at Michelin-starred restaurants when abroad, and attended art exhibits where she still turned heads. But somewhere in between, a silence had begun to grow. Not loneliness. Maya didn't believe in that word. But a kind of stillness. The sort that echoed in the late hours when the city dimmed, and even her social media felt like a stranger's highlight reel. There were moments, fleeting, then frequent, When she caught herself staring at families in parks, or couples in supermarkets arguing about cereals, she began to wonder if maybe she had spent too long choosing, filtering, rejecting. Her standards had protected her, but they had also isolated her. One Sunday, while visiting her aging parents in Pune, her mother sat beside her with a cup of chai and said, "You know, better, when we were young, we didn't get to choose so much. But maybe that helped us to grow with the person, not just shop for the perfect one." Maya didn't reply. She just sipped her tea, eyes fixed on the bougainvillea outside. By 42, Maya no longer searched for the one. She had friends, meaningful work, and a life that was still rich in culture and independence. But the selective girl from the city had slowly transformed. She no longer dismissed people for pronunciation errors or fashion choices. She noticed character more: kindness, consistency, silence that didn't feel awkward. One evening, at a bookstore cafe, she struck up a conversation with a retired professor over a shared love for Neruda. He didn't ask for her number, but as she walked home, she felt a quiet joy in that connection, a brief but meaningful collision. She still went to parties, though less frequently. Her phone still buzzed with DMs, though she rarely answered. And she still curated her life, though with softer edges. Maya never married, not because she couldn't, but because somewhere along the way, she realized marriage wasn't the only measure of fulfillment. She stopped defining her worth by who chose her or didn't. She had chosen herself, flaws, regrets, glory, and all. But sometimes, late at night, as she looked out from her 14th floor balcony at the glowing Mumbai skyline, she would whisper a name: Aman, Rohan, or someone forgotten. Not with regret, just remembrance. Because even city girls with standards and dreams need to mourn the lives they didn't live.